When you react in fear, you make life much more difficult than it needs to be. Austin here with Hope to Cope, checking in today to remind you that you are a miracle and you have a purpose. So I've shared several of my dreams over the past couple months. I've had 5 significant dreams. And as I was talking with a friend recently about these dreams and trying to figure out the most recent one, something from that dream helped me connect it to all the others. So my most recent dream, I had the 2 dreams in the one night. The one was with my 3-year-old son who was at the bottom of the pool, and I was afraid he was going to drown. And so I dove down, tried to get him, but he was fine. He was playing on the bottom of the pool with toys. And the other part of the dream was I thought he was drowning, but I got to him and he was swimming. And then as I was trying to raise him to the surface from the bottom of the pool, I ran out of oxygen before I got to the surface and inhaled deeply and just sucked all this water into my lungs, and then found out I was fine. I could breathe water. And so there was really nothing to be afraid of. So right after that dream, I had an eagle dream. And in this dream, I'm with my wife and I look up in the sky and there's an eagle flying. And I'm like, oh, look, there's an eagle. And then it comes down and it lands right next to a bench and a trash can. And there's another eagle on the bench. So now there's 2 eagles. And then I look up a little bit further and there's a cabin with a porch, and there's a 3rd eagle on the porch. And that 3rd eagle comes over to the other 2. So they're all next to each other. The middle one jumps up on the shoulders of the 3rd one and then is doing all these weird head movements and being just really funny. So I felt humor. I was humored by it. So I pulled out my phone. I'm like, I want to take some pictures of this. So I took some pictures. And then when I stopped taking a couple pictures, the first 2 were all of a sudden within 2 feet of me. And these were big eagles. They were between 5 and 6 feet tall. The 3rd eagle was taller than me. And so these 2 eagles are right next to me and they're kind of looking at my leg and getting close. And I thought, they're gonna peck me. And so I had a little bit of fear. And so I kicked out at the eagles and they jumped back. And then they came in closer again, and the 3rd one's there now too. And I kick at them again, and they jump back, and then they attack. All 3 of them jump on me. They're using their talons, they're using their wings, they're using their beaks, and they're just beating on me, surrounding me and attacking me, and I wake up. And so that one I was trying to figure out, okay, eagles, that's a significant animal, and then there were 3, so that's a significant number. But I was just talking with my friend, he said, you kicked out at them. So you acted in fear. And so that connected to my other dream, which all of my dreams have had some element of fear to them, about me facing my fears. Like the Halloween dream that I had going into the sea cave, and that personage coming out of the water that terrified me. In the dream, as I spent more time, and I had family and friends that were with me that said, no, there's nothing to be afraid of. And they pushed me back into the cave. And none of them reacted negatively to the fear. They were just like, oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. And it ended up being there was nothing to be afraid of. Same thing with my 3-year-old son in the water. I kept thinking he was going to drown, but there was nothing to be afraid of. In this one with the eagles, maybe there was nothing to be afraid of, but because I was afraid and I kicked out, that then caused them to attack. So how many times in your life do you react in fear and you get defensive, you say something, you do something that then triggers an event of attack towards you? And maybe that wouldn't have happened had you not responded in fear. So as I'm looking at my life, how many of my problems are created because I act in fear? How many of my problems in my life are created? How much of the chaos in my life is created because of fear? Right, I'm wearing my Star Wars jacket and Star Wars hat right now. And fear is a big element in those shows as well. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to the dark side, right? And so this fear, why am I so afraid? Why are you so afraid? And what if we could let go of the fear, or at least acknowledge it? So as I did a video last week with the 4 steps to moving past fear, F, feel it. E, excuse it. A, take action. And R, receive the result, receive the reward. So what if we are our own worst enemies? What if we're our own worst critics? What if we, by responding and acting in fear, is what creates the chaos and the struggles in our life? And life really doesn't need to be as difficult as we have it, but it's because of the fear that's creating it. And so today, I'm just sharing with you these ideas that I'm learning and expressing these ideas to you to hopefully help you also see, where does fear show up in your life? And what is fear really? What is fear? Why do we experience this fear? Right? There's the psychological idea that, we want to survive. And so anything that could be perceived as a threat or a danger to our existence, we perceive as risky, and we have fear towards it because we have to protect ourselves in order to stay alive. So what if we could get beyond that? We feel it, and then we excuse it. And then we take action in a way that we know is going to serve us, and we receive those things that we want. So today, just one other element to this. This is going to be a longer video, so thank you for bearing with me. There's some valuable pieces here for me that I just want to share with you. But today, as I was walking up here to do my video, there were a bunch of horses on the path. And they're big. There's 6 horses, and they're big animals. And another thing, I'm allergic to horses, but I see these big animals, and I kind of walk towards them, and as I'm walking, then they start to come towards me. And I feel this anxiety coming up in me. I feel this fear. Like, oh no, what are they going to do? I've got my 2 dogs with me, as you can see them running around. I'm like, are they going to act out at the dogs? Am I going to be in danger here? And so these horses are coming, so I kind of stop. A few of the horses come up to me, so I kind of pat their noses a little bit. And then I stand there and I think, I don't think I want to walk past all these horses. So I walk back a little ways, and then I just pause looking out at the horses and stuff. And then the horses come towards me again, and I'm like, okay. So then I just turn around and I start walking back towards my house. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But then I had the thought, wait, I'm going to talk about fear today and the importance of not reacting to fear. And so if I just turn around and walk back, I'm reacting to fear. I'm not going to the destination that I had thought that I was going to because of this thing that showed up on the path in my way that's bigger than me and seems more dangerous. And so if I just turn around and walk back, that's just me reacting to the fear. And so I took a deep breath and said, no, I can't do that today because I have this message of responding to fear and moving forward. So I took a deep breath, stilled my fears, reminded myself there's nothing to be afraid of here. Yes, there's cautions to take, and I'll be aware of that as I move forward. And then I moved forward. I moved towards the horses. I said hi to them, and I made sure I didn't get too close to them in their backs and anything. And I just said hi. I talked to them, and I walked through. I walked through all 6 horses. There was no issue, no problem, and I made it to my destination, plus a little bit further. And so that I felt like was just another reminder and a little test for me to say, okay, this is what you're going to be sharing today. Can you act on it? Can you fulfill it? And then just a reminder, when fear shows up in your life, what is the fear about? And what is the best response? Instead of reacting to the fear, how can you respond to the fear in a way that will serve you most? Remember, you're a miracle. You have a purpose. I'm here at Hope to Cope every day, checking in with a message of hope to help you cope with today. This was a longer video. Thank you for bearing with me. How does fear show up in your life? What are your thoughts on this message? Comment below. If this is your first time stumbling across Hope to Cope, welcome. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I've got a message coming out every day for you to help you move past your fears, to remind you that you're a miracle, that you have a purpose, and to give you a little bit of hope for today. Thank you for being you. Thank you for bearing with me today as I put my thoughts on fear into this message. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.